The European home appliance industry is this massive, quiet giant that really shapes our daily lives. But have you ever stopped to think just how big it actually is?
We'll try this on for size. Almost 80 billion euros. That's what the industry adds to the EU's economy every single year. It's an absolutely huge number.
And Ben, it's not just about the money. We're talking about people, a million jobs. In this explainer, we're going to zero in on one of the titans of that industry, Electrolux Group, because they are making a massive strategic shift right now. Now, before we dive into the details, just a quick word on what we do here. This is a completely independent analysis. We aren't connected to any company in this space. And so you know exactly where our info comes from. Everything we're about to talk about is pulled directly from official public sources. We're talking Electrolux's own financial reports, their press releases. You get the idea. So let's get into it. All right, so every big strategy really starts with a problem, right? And for Electrolux, the main challenge is right in their own backyard. Their core market, Europe, has pretty much stalled out. I mean, just look at this. Their own data from the first quarter of 2026 shows that shipments are flat. There's just no real growth to be found there anymore. And that really is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? When your main playground stops getting bigger, you've got to find a new one to play in. So what do? Well, Electrolux's answer is a big, bold pivot right across the Atlantic. They're going all in on North America. And believe me, they are putting some serious cash behind this move. That's right. We are talking about a capital increase of nearly $1 billion US. This isn't just some small course correction, it's a massive strategic investment. And according to their own statements, this huge cash injection is there to beef up their balance sheet and, more importantly, to fund the huge push into the North American market. And the heart of that whole push is a giant new partnership with the manufacturing powerhouse Midea. The CEO, Yannick Fierling, even called it a major milestone designed to accelerate profitable growth. So this isn't just about selling more stuff, it's about totally changing how they compete. And they're being really smart about it, tackling it from 3 angles. First, a joint venture just for sales, focusing on their refrigeration products. Then, they're hitting manufacturing costs with 2 more JVs, one in Mexico for those same fridges, and another in South Carolina for laundry products. It's a total overhaul of their system. Okay, so that's the big North American growth story. But at the same time, they're running a completely different and, you could argue, more sophisticated play back home in Europe. Since volume is flat, the strategy isn't about selling more, it's about selling better. And for Electrolux, better now means sustainable. Yeah, this part is fascinating. Just look at this data from their 2025 reports. Their most energy-efficient products are already pulling in more than a third of their gross profit. Exactly. And here is the real kicker. These eco-friendly products, they only make up about 26% of total units sold, but they deliver a whopping 36% of the gross profit. They are just way more profitable, which tells you that customers will pay more for efficiency. That's a huge boost to their margins. So let's tie this all together. What you've got is a huge, cash-fueled pivot to North America to chase volume, paired with a sharp focus on high-margin, sustainable products back in Europe to drive value. That 2-part strategy is their big bet for 2026. And it all feeds into their game plan moving forward. They're doubling down on these profitable, efficient products, they're putting more money into smart tech, and they're tapping into that natural replacement cycle, getting people to upgrade to those premium, higher-margin machines. It's a really clear, well-rounded plan. It is definitely a bold plan. There's no doubt about it. A huge bet on a new market and a new way of creating value. So, what do you all think? Is this big pivot going to pay off for them? We would genuinely love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And of course, if you enjoy these kinds of data-driven deep dives, make sure you subscribe for more. And before we sign off, just the usual quick disclaimer. This channel is managed on a personal and independent basis. The opinions and analyses expressed are personal and do not represent in any way the employer of the channel manager or any company in the household appliances sector.